They said, we're going to take another piece of equipment. Everybody go to gate 6.
Another piece of equipment meaning another plane?
A plane, yes, ma'am. Then at that point, both my friend and I went to gate 6. They opened up the gates and they said, don't worry about seats, just grab the first seat you come to.
It was the same airlines?
Yes.
Quiet.
And
not assigned seats?
No, ma'am. There was no assigned seats.
Okay.
So I approached, and the first row was taken, the second row was taken, the third row wasn't. So I let my friend, he doesn't fly that often, I said, go ahead and take the window seat, Dane, because you don't fly. I think he's flown once in his life. He says, fine. So I sat in the middle. I buckled in, and then at that point, the row of the stream of people are coming in. Then this gentleman comes up to me, and he says, you're in my seat. Move. Not please, not anything. And I laughed. I thought he was kidding, like, hey, this is first class, isn't it? You're in my seat. I thought he was, kidding. So at that point, I laughed. And I said, you got to be kidding. That's exactly what I said. You got to be kidding. And at that point, he smacked me on top of the head. And it was so hard, they heard it in the back of the plane. And it dazed me.
What did he smack you with?
At that time, I didn't know. I was told it was a book. And I don't know if the palm of the back of his hand hit me. I don't know if the book hit me. I do not know. At that point, he also made the statement, wait until I meet you in Vegas, or wait until I see you in Vegas. It took 5 seconds. And he kept on walking, and I said, I want that blank out of here. And the flight attendant came over, and I explained to her what had happened. They called the harbor police. They went to get him, and they got the wrong person at first. And, and then the party who was facing me, she spoke up. She says, I work for the San Diego Police Department, indicating that she wasn't a police officer, but she worked for them. And she said, I can identify him. And she got up and went back and identified him. And then he was removed from the aircraft. A few minutes went by. They came and got me. I exited the plane. Would you like to sign a complaint? And I said, yes, I would. And at that point, that was the end of that incident. Got back on the plane. We went to Vegas. And he shows up the same hotel I'm at. Coincidence, and there's no way he would know. So apparently it was coincidence. But in my mind, I don't know how his mind's working. And I don't know what is going through it. So I avoided him.
Did you follow through with the complaint, sir?
Yes, I did.
What happened with that complaint?
They dismissed it because it was just too costly to go ahead and prosecute him.
Because you had no serious injuries.
I was dazed and I have constant headaches, but that's beside the,
okay, fine. Now I'll hear your end of the story.
Well, it was also December 1st. It was, we got there at 9:15 for a 12:30 flight. There are no assigned seating, as he says. It's a cattle call. We had boarding passes number 2 and 3 because we had been there since 9:30 in the morning waiting for the 12:30 flight. We boarded the plane. It was a mechanical problem. We were in the third seat back from the entrance of the plane at that time. They said that they were going to need to move us to another plane, and they did ask us at that time, quote, let's make this as friendly and convenient as possible. Would you all please take your current seat when we move to the new plane?
Okay.
They did repeat that several times while we were...
Yes, ma'am.
They did repeat that several times while we were changing from one plane to another. Got onto the plane. I don't believe I've ever seen this gentleman before in my life. Whether he was in the window seat, I don't know. This gentleman and his friend who was in the windows...
Try looking at me when you're testifying, sir.
Sorry, in the aisle seat. I asked him to move. I did say, you're in my seats. What do you think you're doing? Move. He laughed. Said, what, are you kidding me? No way. Not going to happen. Waved me to go to the back of the plane. I asked him again to move. He continued to laugh in my face. I did at that point lean over the back of the seats in front of him and did mention that when we reached Las Vegas, he might prefer to have me as his friend. Not the most intelligent thing that I've ever done, but that is what I said. At that point, he stood up and said, oh, come on, I'll be your friend. Come to my hotel. I'll buy you a drink. We'll have a great time.
You're lying. That's a lie.
No, I'm not.
No, that's a lie. That's not even in your answer. That's not even in your answer, sir. Don't make up stories as we're moving along here. Don't make up stories as you move. He's sitting in his seat. He's buckled in. You lean over, and what you said in your answer was you acted foolishly, but you tapped him with the soft end of a paperback book.
After he stood up and had words with me and was in my face laughing, waved me to the back of the plane one more time. Yes, he was standing up to provoke me, and yes,
he was provoking you? Are you out of your mind? I mean, are you out of your mind? Is there something chronically wrong with you?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You saw what he did. What did you say to him?
I didn't say much. I was
shocked. You were shocked. You said to him, what's wrong with you? Does he have a bad temper?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tony Malabenda says fellow passenger Robert Breen assaulted him on an airplane. Tony claims Robert thumped him on the head with a book.
Now, sir, you put your hands on somebody over a seat in a plane? Is there something wrong with you?
Ma'am, after a 3-hour wait to get onto the plane.
Everybody waited for 3 hours. Everybody had a deep plane. Everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
You weren't the only one. You weren't taking a private plane, were you?
No.
So you're getting on a plane. Somebody is sitting in a row that you had been on in a previous plane. You told them to move. They didn't move, and you hit them. That's what happened. I mean, that's the long and short of it. You can't do that. I mean, what did you say to him? You're his wife. What did you say to him?
I was ahead of him in line, and I didn't actually speak to my husband. I was watching the situation.
Stand up here. You get back in your seat. You saw what he did. What did you say to him?
I didn't say much. I was
shocked.
Yes.
You were shocked.
I was shocked at the actions of both men, but it escalated to what it had.
You were shocked. You said to him, what's wrong with you? Does he have a bad temper?
No, not really.
Not really. I doubt
He
that.
needs to be provoked, but...
By being provoked, it means somebody was sitting in row 3? That was a provocation for hitting somebody?
The gentleman was pushing his buttons. He was...
No. He said, you're in my seat, move. He said, I'm not moving. He said it again. Then he leans over and he said to him, when we get to Vegas, you want to be my friend. That's a threat. That's before anything happened. That's before he got up. So your counterclaim for your destroyed vacation is dismissed because you deserve to have a destroyed vacation. Now, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing the defendant for $5,000. That's overkill.
Yes, ma'am.
Big time. You weren't injured, but he certainly has to be taught that this is not behavior that is acceptable. What are all these papers that you have to show me? I'm just curious.
These are the police report and the witnesses report.
Let me just take a look at it quickly.
And my witness off. Yes, ma'am.
You know, Mr. Breen, you don't look like an unintelligent man. Bad-tempered, but not unintelligent. You just recounted to me what you said exactly. He made up this whole big story about what he said to you, and that he got up and he was confrontational, and you made a whole story, right, about what he said to you.
I didn't make a story at all, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
sure you did. And you remembered and you recounted it. How many months later? 6, 7, 8 months later, you recounted that statement to me as if it was gospel truth. Is that right, sir?
That's what happened on the plane, Your Honor.
All right. So what I'm suggesting to you, sir, is do you think one's memory becomes clearer as time goes on, or do you think it becomes dull?
It becomes a little dulled.
Of course. So I'm going to read you what the police said. Police said, suspect Breen made the following statement, and then it talks about having to deplane one plane for another, and you were told to take the same seats. Breen asked him to move, and Malabenda laughed and refused. As Breen was walking away, and this is your statement, Malabenda made a smart comment which Breen could not recall. So you're saying you're one of the few people who, after a period of time, without hypnosis, without truth serum, things become clearer than they were on the day of the incident. So to the police, you couldn't recall what he said to you, but to me, 8 months later, you recall every word. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. Your count of claims dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The way he said, "You're in my seat, get out." I laughed. I thought the gentleman was kidding.
I was wrong to hit him.
I saw him hit Tony upside the head very hard with a paperback book.
This book, on the open part, pretty much like that.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Meadows versus Flores. Step forward, please.
Warehouse worker Angel Muro is suing his ex-wife's ex-fiancé, Marco Flores, for car damages and pain and suffering. Marco is countersuing for damage to his truck and for harassment.
The defendant is the fiancé of your former girlfriend. Is that right?
Yes, we have a daughter in common.
How old is the child?
She's 10 now.
How long did you live with her?
About 10 years.
But you don't live with her anymore now. She's engaged to Mr. Flores.
That's right.
Your complaint is that Mr. Flores caused 2 accidents. One happened in August of last year. One happened in February of this year. The one that happened in August, you got paid for. Is that right?
Correct. My car was repaired.
I'm not dealing with that. Now that you hurt your knee or something. Should have dealt with that before your insurance company paid for it. But you say that he caused an accident in February, and because of his driving, he caused you to hit him in the rear of his car. He says that you hit him in the rear of his car, and it was your fault, and he is counterclaiming not only for that incident in February, but also he says that you have been harassing both him and his fiancée and have written defamatory letters to their bosses, all of which I will see. Now, I want you to tell me where this accident happened in February.
This happened in Sun Valley.
Tell me what happened.
I was going south on Laurel Canyon, and when I got up to Strathern, I noticed Marco, and he had pulled up in front of me, and there was another car, a friend of his, and another car, a big Ford behind me. I didn't get.
How did you know that the other person in the other car was a friend of his?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I just, when we were at the light was red, so we were just sitting there, and the car behind me kept easing up on my tail, and I kept looking up at the mirror at him, you know, and when the light changed, Marco took off, and then, you know, I was still looking at my mirror because this guy was just coming up, you know. I proceeded, and I looked up in my mirror. Next thing I know, he was sitting right in the intersection. He had only gone about 5 feet past the pedestrian crosswalk.
And you hit him?
Yes.
Now, what makes you think that this person behind you was a friend of his?
Because the way it was set up, the car just automatically just swerved off and sped off when the other lane was
So
open.
you don't know that he was a friend of
that's
his?
just my assumption.
That's your assumption, so
And then,
I can't deal with your assumption. He's in front of you, you're watching the car
Right.
behind you, and you hit him in the rear.
Correct.
Your case is dismissed. Now let's get to your counterclaim. You hit him in the rear, it's your fault. You're supposed to be far enough away from the car in front of you not to hit them in the rear. Now, so forget about your claim. And you forget about the February driving incident. Do you understand?
Yes.
All I want to hear about is the letters.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Because I have a feeling you two guys are playing with each other a little bit. That's my sense.
Wait.
That you don't avoid each other. In a big town, it just so happens that on many occasions you're with each other, around each other in your cars. If you want to act like fools, that's your problem. You're not going to visit that on me.
Okay.
I want to hear
Honor.
quiet. I want to hear your allegations, Mr. Flores, with regard to the harassment and defamation.
Okay. He wrote 2 letters to the city. I work for 2 departments in the
Let
city.
me see the copies of letters that he wrote.
That all the harassment was on his part. I didn't find out till...
I'm reading.
I've got letters from my superiors that he contacted my job before I called his job.
What word didn't you understand? I said I'm reading. Well, Mr. Flores,
Yes.
let me tell you this. These letters are clearly the letters of an angry person. What he is complaining about is that while on city time, you were romancing his girlfriend in his house, parked your city truck that you were supposed to be using for business only, and that he was able to document it. Now, all that is pretty nasty, but he's allowed to write that. I mean, there's a lot of other extraneous stuff in here about his 8-year-old daughter and having to wait outside when you were there.
That's right.
However, if your complaint is that he should not have written to your bosses and told them that you were on city time, and if he's a taxpayer, using city vehicle to mess around with his girlfriend, he has a right to do that.
Well, if he has documentation and proof, why didn't he bring it forward?
You didn't tell me it wasn't true, Mr. Flores.
It's not true.
My daughter.
Just a minute. Mr. Flores, that's what a hearing is for, sir. I assume that if there were any truth to these allegations, or if there was a question as to their veracity, because I see that you did change jobs, because one letter is written in 2000, one letter is written to a different employer in 2001, that you would have been given a hearing if you wish to contest those.
They transferred him out of there for that reason.
Hey,
It was
Mr.
justified.
Temper, take your hands out of your pockets.
It was justified, Your Honor.
So he has a right to send in those letters. You have a right to have hearing. He was angry. By the way, how come you lived together for 10 years and never got married?
Just when things would get nice and calm, then something would always come up.
Did you ever ask her to marry you?
Yeah, I did, once.
Once.
No.
And
Just didn't work out. She wasn't taking care of my daughter like I wanted her to.
Well, you're pretty bossy, Mr. Muro.
No, my daughter was.
Listen to me, you're pretty bossy.
No, my daughter was not allowed to go in the house. She was not allowed to go in the house when she got home from school until they took care of what they were doing. And
Listen to me.
And then,
I asked you a simple question. You were together for 10 years. Why didn't you marry?
Because she wasn't faithful.
Then you don't have a child, you don't live together for 10 years. All right, Mr. Muro, you don't have the case. You hit his car in the rear. You're responsible for the damage. Mr. Flores, you don't have the case.
Well, Your Honor.
I'm speaking.
Can I just say one thing?
No. Marco. That's what you're suing for.
But
damage to your car.
To explain my
You don't have to. Sir, listen to me. I said to you, you hit him in the rear.
Correct.
Period. End of discussion. And you were looking at another car in your rearview mirror while you were driving. It's your fault. Pay for it yourself. You do not have a case. Do you understand? He has a right to complain about your abusing public funds by going fooling around in his house using a public car when he's not home. He really didn't care about... I'm speaking.
I'm sorry.
He has a right to file a complaint. You had a right to have a hearing. Do you understand?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Party. Yes, it's case number 139 on the calendar in the matter of Faust versus Nowalski. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Folks have seats.
Mr. Faust, you claim a loan to the defendant for some bad checks that she wrote, and also the return of some property that she has that you claim is really your property. Defendant says there was never a loan, that the property that you claim is yours was really a gift to her, and she has a counterclaim for some harassment nonsense and the return of some animals that she says that you have that belong to her. So let's start with this loan, which is really the big part of this case. Mr. Nowalski, you wrote some bad checks? When?
2 years ago.
And you were dating Mr. Faust at the time?
Yes.
And you agreed to make good on those bad checks?
Yes, I did.
So that she would not either be prosecuted or worse?
Correct.
Tell me about that, sir.
Basically, we started dating in August of '99, and approximately about mid-January of 2001, she had came to me that she was served with papers that was going to go to court, and she had nowhere to go.
Well, what did she say to you?
Basically that she was in a tight spot. She was upset and crying. We worked at the same place to work. So she had came back to my office that day. She was served during lunch. And we went out to lunch, and she was upset about it.
And what did you say to her?
Basically, I was a little upset because she hadn't came to me because this had been going on for several months, and she was evading the companies and the phone calls and even attempting to make payments. So I was a little upset because I was lending her some money here and there that wasn't expected back during this whole time
That
also.
wasn't expected
Yes.
back. So you were not lending her, you were giving her money.
$10, $15 a week type thing just to help her out for gasoline or for lunch type thing. I was usually paying for the lunch.
What were you doing with all your money?
So
It's not an answer. What were you doing with your money? If you're working, what were you doing with
I
your
was
money?
working. I wasn't making a lot of money, and I was spending too much money. And the
On what?
checks went through, and they went bad.
On what?
Clothes, grocery shopping.
Grocery
things like
shopping
that.
you can afford.
Just things like that.
That's not being honest with me.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. You're working, you're paying rent, and you buy groceries. That doesn't make you write bad checks. What makes you write bad checks are things that you shouldn't be buying, other than clothes. What else?
CDs, just stuff like that.
Okay. So he made good on your checks.
Yes.
So why do you feel as if you shouldn't pay him back?
We didn't have an agreement that I would pay him back.
What was your agreement?
He came to work. I had the papers. He came to my work and said that he would call him and take care of it. So he called him up and
He wouldn't have known
paid it.
about, listen to me. He didn't come into your office one day and say, let me see those papers. What happened is you contacted him and told him that you got served with a summons.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
And was that during the day, during business hours?
Yes.
So you were pretty...
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثا فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة السابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم سلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح ممدود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أإذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أإنا لمبعوثون أوآباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناهم فلولا تصدقون أفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إليه يرد علم الساعة وما تخرج من ثمرات من أكمامها وما تحمل من أنثى ولا تضع إلا بعلمه ويوم يناديهم أين شركاء اتل ما أوحي إليك من الكتاب وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون ولا تجادلوا أهل الكتاب إلا بالتي هي أحسن إلا الذين ظلموا منهم وقولوا آمنا بالذي أنزل إلينا وأنزل إليكم وإلهنا وإلهكم واحد ونحن له مسلمون وكذلك أنزلنا إليك الكتاب فالذين آتيناهم الكتاب يؤمنون به ومن هؤلاء من يؤمن به وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا الكافرون وما كنت تتلو من قبله من كتاب ولا تخطه بيمينك إذا لارتاب المبتلون بل هو آيات بينات في صدور الذين أوتوا العلم وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا الظالمون وقالوا لولا أنزل عليه آية من ربه قل إنما الآيات عند الله وإنما أنا نذير مبين أولم يكفهم أنا أنزلنا عليك الكتاب يتلى عليهم إن في ذلك لرحمة وذكرى لقوم يؤمنون قل كفى بالله بيني وبينكم شهيدا يعلم ما في السماوات والأرض والذين آمنوا بالباطل وكفروا بالله أولئك هم الخاسرون ويستعجلونك بالعذاب ولولا أجل مسمى لجاءهم العذاب وليأتينهم بغتة وهم لا يشعرون يستعجلونك بالعذاب وإن جهنم لمحيطة بالكافرين يوم يغشاهم العذاب من فوقهم ومن تحت أرجلهم ويقول ذوقوا ما كنتم تعملون يا عبادي الذين آمنوا إن أرضي واسعة فإياي فاعبدون كل نفس ذائقة الموت ثم إليها ترجعون والذين آمنوا وعملوا ثم إلينا ترجعون والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لنبوئنهم من الجنة غرفا